Welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, your daily host. Torreira set for Arsenal return. Omar Rekik very close to his Arsenal dream move. He had to make it last summer, but he was a bit unfortunate. But this time, no missing. He will be joining Arsenal Football Club. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Thanks for joining me again. I'm a little bit late. The reason is I've been sick and everybody knows, but at least you can have a drink with me. Let's just toast to this show and make sure it goes very, very smoothly and well, just like anybody of us would just expect it. Interesting piece of news. Arsenal, Lucas Torreira, Omar Rekik. Those are the two players we shall be looking at. Yesterday we were looking at Isco. Please make sure you check out those videos. Isco, Awa, and Fabio Vieira, and we're talking about the possibilities of Arsenal getting those players in. Today we are looking at yet another bunch of players. One is just in London. They are trying to finalize his thing, so we are going to be discussing him, and then Lucas Torreira and all the saga that surrounds him and his return to Arsenal. Will he ever come back? Is he coming back this January transfer window? Because his deal was he goes to Atletico Madrid. If he pleases them, if he performs up to the standard of Diego Simeone, then they'll have an option to sign him. It was not a mandate. It was not. They were not mandated to buy him. It was either they buy him after he does so well, or when they feel that he has done a lot of trash in their side, they can let him go. Now, it is barely 4 days ago when Sky Sports reported this story that Lucas Torreira will actually come back to Arsenal in the January transfer window after failing to meet the standards of Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. This is a question I want to pose to the people on this show. Are you happy that Lucas Torreira is going to come back at Arsenal? Do you think he has something he's going to offer to the club? However much Atletico Madrid feel that he is not up to their standard, but do you think he is better than what we have and he should be coming back? Because when we were struggling, as we've been struggling, actually, because we are still struggling. I don't want to say when we were struggling, because I was not pleased with that point. It was a very, very, very shambolic performance. But as we've been performing, I was looking at the players we let go and the players we stayed with. We stayed with Dani Ceballos, Granit Xhaka, Jose Willock in that midfield, and Mohamed Elneny. And we let Matteo Guendouzi and Lucas Torreira leave the club. And I was like, really, this was a big mistake. Lucas Torreira, as one of the best squad players you have, he might not be a very good starter, maybe for starters, but he's a good squad player. He's one player that you're always going to have in your squad and you're like, yeah, he's going to do it. So, for me, I'm not happy for him, because when he comes back to Arsenal, the chances that he's going to play football are minimal, especially when Mikel Arteta, a manager that doesn't trust him, is at the club. He's just 23 years of age. For Christ's sake, he needs food. He needs game time. He's one of our best midfielders under the Unai Emery reign, and it seems that all the players that were playing, they were playing under the Unai Emery reign, are being washed away by Mikel Arteta. So the possibility of him coming back stands, but the possibility of him playing and getting inside the squad of Mikel Arteta does not stand so much. So that is where we are right now. But according to Sky Sports, it is confirmed that Atletico Madrid would want to bring him back, would want to let him go back to Arsenal. The only question there is, will Arsenal take him back and give him playing time? Because you see, he's a little bit more of a complicated player. You wouldn't say he's going to play with Thomas Partey in that midfield, because particularly if you want Partey to be a defensive midfielder, then Lucas Torreira cannot be the box-to-box. He cannot be the mastermind of the team. He's not the midfield dynamite, you would think. So it's really hard. And I think this is one of the reasons why Mikel Arteta let him go. He's not this kind of, he's like, he wants to play like N'Golo Conte, something like that. But for him, he is not this kind of player, you're gonna trust with that number 6 role. He's not the player you're gonna trust with the number 8 role. So he's not so much of a box to box, but I think when you get him a good partner, he can be a good player. We have seen at Sampdoria, he was a very, very good, great player. Even at Arsenal under Unai Emery, he was still one of the best players, one of the best midfielders in that midfield. Going forward, dropping back, the tackles, the speed, the work rate, the energy, the zeal, the morale. I think one of the attributes I love about him is his work rate and the way he's never bullied. He's never, when you look at his height, you're like, Lucas Torreira can easily be bullied off the ball, but that's not the way things work with him. That's not the way things work with him. So he's gonna be coming back, and it's gonna create a little bit of a fuss and a midfield crisis at Arsenal. So Mikel Arteta needs to know that as he welcomes new signings, he has other players that have not actually been doing so well, and the club, their parent clubs would actually want to bring them back at Arsenal. The only question is, as Arsenal prepares for the return of Lucas Torreira, who gets out? Because remember, I told you we have a 25-man squad, but we have 27 players. 2 players were left out of. Actually, not only 2 players, because Ozil was left out, Socrates was left out. William Saliba was left out, so a couple of players were left out of that squad, and I think Martinelli also is not in the squad. So it really communicates that Arsenal needs to ship off some dead wood before we go in the January transfer window. We need to ship off. We need to ship off that the dead wood. We just need to ship off the dead wood. The other player I want us to talk about is Omar Rekik Hathabalin. This name must not be new, but if it's new, then I'll explain why it must not be new to you. He is a player who was very, very close to joining Arsenal in the summer, but the transfer deadline time actually caught up with the club, and we did not sign him. But everything was almost done. The price was agreed, 900,000. Now you're going to tell me, Kosi, this is a joke. Kosi, this is a joke. You can't tell us that we are making our first signing to be an 18-year-old defender who is 900,000 pounds. My answer is, I'm sorry, it is true. So the first signing Arsenal will be making in this transfer window is Omar Rekik. I'll be doing an extensive 10-minute video about him, his abilities, where he comes from, and everything. But he's been playing with the Hertha Berlin. He's a very highly rated young defender. That is what I can tell you. That's what I can tell you. Very highly rated young defender. Steve Bold is so much in love and interested in him. He would want to use him down there Arsenal with the under-23. He's particularly one for the future, because if you look at Arsenal's defense right now, we have Pablo Mari, Gabriel Magalhaes, David Luiz. You have William Saliba, Rob Holding. So I don't see an 18-year-old, unless they are so exceptional, unless they are very, very exceptional. I don't see an 18-year-old just break through this, Arsenal side and then break into it and then start all their, getting games and so on. So I don't see him start at Arsenal. I think he's gonna be working very closely with Steve Bold. With the under-23s, which is also something that's not bad. I'm telling you, it's not something that's bad. I mean, Omar Rekik, as a young player, you need to plan for the future as Arsenal. Remember, Arsenal is one of the clubs that do not actually want to spend, especially on fullbacks and centre backs. Arsenal is not going to spend 45 million, so you have to prepare, for the worst. I mean, if you have a player like Omar Rekik, 18 years of age, that means in the next 2 years, when David Luiz is out and Rob Holding has proven to you that he's not actually the kind of defender that we all expected, then you can bring in players like Omar Rekik to actually play for us. That is deep down in the fullback. He's a wonderful player. I think all of us will love him. He has been playing with Hertha Berlin. So I mean, let's just wait to see what is gonna come out of that. So those are the 2 big transfer stories around Arsenal right now. I mean, there's so many stories around Arsenal. There's so many, this one, that one, this one, that one. But those are the biggest stories around Arsenal when it comes to transfers. And that is how close we are. You get me? That is how close we are. Very close to finalizing the Omar Rekik transfer. That one I've told you, it's a matter of time. Player is already in London to do his what should I call it? To do his medical, finish his stuff, and everything is gonna be okay. So I hope we can just get along with that. And then Lucas Torreira is also set to come back to Arsenal. But there is another story written by the Daily Express that Arsenal is set to rival Juventus for a new Thierry Henry with 50 million price tag. We're going to be discussing that as well. Much love to everybody who's on the stream. A like is appreciated. That's why I'm just toasting to you. Just give me a like and then we can drink together. Actually, have something to drink as you watch these shows, because it will be something so good if you have something to drink as you watch this show. So, who is this new Thierry Daniel Henry that Arsenal is actually looking at, and they think he is the next big thing? 50 million price tag. Let's just go through this story. Arsenal are reportedly monitoring the progress of Slavia Prague winger Abdullah Sima. The 19-year-old, who has 13 goals in 18 appearances this season, has turned heads with a number of impressive performances at the Czech side. Italian champions Juventus are also said to be tracking the Senegalese teenager, who has been valued at around £50 million by Slavia Prague president Jaroslav. Now that second name is a problem, but we can go for Jaroslav Tadic, and dubbed the new Thierry Henry, according to a report by Calisio Mercato. It is also claimed that scouts from both clubs have put his name on their notebooks, but it remains to be seen whether Sima will be a subject of any concrete offers. The winger has played less than 20 senior matches for in his professional career, but is very highly rated by Slavia Praha and looks set to be a star for the future for his country's national team. West Ham and Czech Republic's midfielder Thomas Sosek revealed earlier this week that he sees Sima as a huge talent and wants the Hammers to join the race for his signature, given the youngster's hugely impressive start to the season. That is the man himself, Abdullah Sima, linked with Arsenal. And of course, Thomas Sosek was saying that for what I see, I have to say I'm excited about him. Sosek told Czech channel City Sport his goals are very much similar to what I've been scoring. So it's again another youngster, 19 years of age, Abdullah Sima, linked with Arsenal. I think £50 million for a 19-year-old. I mean, there's some players that are quite exceptional. I don't want to disagree. I think if he's exceptional, you would take him. But £50 million, that's big money for a player who has not actually, who has only played 20, professional appearances for his, professional side. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's really, really a lot of money. But I think the reason as to why Arsenal might go for mediocre young players that are just blooming out is basically we do not have the muscles to attract the players we want down at the side. That is the reason. Everybody watching, smash the like button and let's get your comments coming in on Lucas Torreira's return to Arsenal. What do you think about that? What do you think about Lucas Torreira returning to Arsenal? Is it a huge boost, or you think either way Mikel Arteta won't give him playing time? What do you think? Tell me, talk to me. So basically, yesterday we were linked with another 20-year-old who's £27 million quid, and this today we are linked with another player from Slavia Praha, 19 years of age, Sima. These are players that can be easily attracted to Arsenal, because right now I don't see Arsenal have the potential, the ability to attract 25-year-olds with bright careers. It's very hard. Even if you want to attract Hudson Edward or you want to attract Patson Daka, they're going to look at where they're going. These are players that have had a way through, a rough way through. So they don't want to be reminded of their rough past. They want progress. They want to go to the next level. And surely right now, for any player who is looking for career development, Arsenal is not the right next step forward. This is to be true. This is to be true. Arsenal is not the right next step forward. And you guys know that, know this. Everybody knows this. Arsenal right now is a sinking Titanic. So not so many people would want to join a sinking Titanic based on the history that the Titanic has. I mean, on taking people's lives. So I don't see Arsenal really having that muscle, having that potential to attract all the beautiful names that we want to attract. I understand there is a lot of, what should I call it? There is a lot of goodwill from the club. There is a lot of ambition right now. The January transfer window. Can we get this one? Can we get this one? And I think the board is quite lucky. The board is quite so lucky because right now they know that you cannot attract good players at the club, so they're going to use that as an excuse. They're going to keep around Hausemowa. They'll keep around players with big names, and the players are going to keep on rejecting us, and they'll keep on in talks until when we cannot hold anymore, until when we cannot sign those big names. I think it only works in the favor of the Arsenal board because this is what they wanted. How can we not sign a player? It's as easy as this now. It's as easy as this. Stick around the good players. They're going to reject you because of your bad position on the table and your offer run. And then you'll tell the fans, we tried, but the players did not want to join us. But why did they reject us? It's because of those poor performances down there. It's because of the poor performances down there. So I won't be so much, surprised if Arsenal goes for these kind of players. These kind of players, the Omar Rekik, the Simas, the Fabio Vieiras, because that is what we can do. That is what, that is what we can do right now. It's hard to attract high-profile players at the club. Very hard to attract high-profile players. So what do? You get me? What do you do if you can't attract the high-profile players? What you're ultimately going to do is go for the cheaper options. And this has been the way Arsenal has been doing business for all the time. All the time. Arsenal's way of doing business. Let us go for the cheaper deals. So this is brilliant. This is quite brilliant. I think it is something that's going to be working for the board. Yeah, something's going to be working for the board. But Gabriel Martinelli is also set to return. I'm looking at that story here. I think I should just share with you. Arsenal look to Real Madrid's new Gareth Bale for solution to deep crisis. That is Escobar. We shall talk about that sometime later. Let us just dive into some of the stories here on Arsenal News now. Let me just share for you this screen. Here we go. Let me just share for you this screen and we dive into the early Arsenal news, what is transpiring around our beautiful club, because everybody knows that Arsenal is still a big club. We just need to work harder and clear that name, clear the rubbish of our name, and then we shall be good to go. Brighton Stars set for 10 million exit as Arsenal closing on defender signing. Arsenal reportedly wants incredibly complex player who has been compared to club legend. This is Omar Rekik. Arsenal closing in on January signing. Player social media posts confirms he is in London. Stan Korean K. Okay, let's first do this. We can first do this. No. That's not what I wanted to do. Seems going to be like this either way. So basically, you look around Arsenal and the stories around are not so much of frightening. There isn't any big stories you're like, Arsenal is going for this guy. No, they're not those. They're not big stories. They're not really big stories. In there, it's just transfer talk. Arsenal linked to this one. Arsenal linked with the other. Let me just try to get this Chrome tab in. This is what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. Arsenal set to finalize the transfer of Omar Rekik. There we go. So look at that story. Look at that story. What if it was Hausemowa? I just wish it could be Hausemowa. I just wish it could be some other good name, some other big name in the transfer market, not Omar Rekik. But this is what Arsenal is doing. They're always going for those small names. Omar Rekik, this is the guy. Omar Rekik. He's the defender in red. He's been playing with Arthur Berlin. He's a massively young, talented defender. There, Arsenal are close to completing the signing of Hertha Berlin, Omar Rekik. The Premier League club has already agreed around 900,000 with the German side during the summer window, but the deal could not be completed in time, and the transfer will be finalized in January. According to reports, the defender jetted into London yesterday, and the transfer is now very close to completion. The defender has confirmed his arrival in London on social media. There you can see a picture there. The 18-year-old is rated highly in Germany and is seen as long-term prosperer at Arsenal. It will be interesting to see if Omar Rekik joins up the Arsenal youth team after the signing is formalized. He's too young to be a starter for the Arsenal first team, and the spell with the youth team will allow him to adapt to his new club and English football in general. Alternatively, a loan spell could do him a world of good as well. Arsenal will not be able to accommodate him in their first team squad anytime soon, and regular first team football at another club could help him continue his development. The likes of William Saliba have failed to establish themselves. He has not failed to establish himself. William Saliba has not failed to establish himself. It's the manager that has failed to give him football. He has not failed to establish himself. The starters at Arsenal so far this season, and Omar Rekik should be in similar situation as well. The Gunners have done well to develop youngsters like Bukayo Saka in the recent years, and it remains to be seen if they can help Omar Rekik fulfill his potential at Arsenal. I don't think we have done so well in developing young players of recent. Not so much. We are not the Arsenal we used to be. We could bring in almost a young player every time. It doesn't seem like that anymore. We are no longer that kind of club. Yeah, we're no longer that kind of club. But anyway, guys, what do you think about the January transfer window? Let me just go through some of the little comments on my show, and then I'll call it a stream. Here we go. Kosi, what part of country? I'm from the elite side of Africa. The elite. I think when I said the elite side of Africa, you understand. Let Torreira come back. That is Mohammed. Roland Ibe he is from Congo. No, I'm not from Congo. I'm not from Congo. I don't think people in Congo speak my English. Hi, I'm Shan from Kampala. I think Torreira is better than the midfielders we have. I do not disagree, Shan. I do not disagree, Shan. I think he is way better than those, crooks down in the Arsenal midfield. Hey, Kosi, how about our update? Let's talk about that as I conclude. Is Arsenal better than Manchester United? two big debates that I have to close down with. The Hausamoa update right now, there isn't anything. I think Arsenal have just confirmed that they would want the signature of the player. They would want the player, but the question is Arsenal going to go for the player? Is Arsenal actually going to go for Hausamoa? Is Hausamoa going to accept to land to Arsenal? There are so many complicated things around the Hausamoa deal. So many complicated things, but we still wait to see whether we can actually have him. That is what I can say. We still wait to see, because the January transfer is just coming up, so we have to wait and see. Is Arsenal better than Manchester United? I mean, we have a better defense than them if we can organize it. We have a better defense. We have a good left back, better than theirs. We have a centre back partnership. If you have Gabriel and Luis, you have a centre back partnership that's better than United. But of course, they have a better right back. They have a better goalkeeper. So in general, I think United is miles ahead, right? Miles ahead of us. Miles ahead. They have a very, very good squad. They are title contenders. It's quite unfair for an Arsenal fan right now to compare themselves to United. It's quite unfair. It's quite really, really unfair. Quite so unfair. It's hard for us to compare ourselves to United. They look so good. They look set. They look focused. They look like they are no longer in the hazardous transition that we are still in. That's the difference. They look good. They are a side that is prepared to move on. They have invested massively, because you look at their front line. They have Edson, Cavani, Martial, and Rashford. That is, that forward line can give you 50 goals in a season, or 60. Then you add Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Donny van de Beek. No, they look so good. They look so good. You cannot compare them to Arsenal right now. I think United is a little bit further ahead. But if we can correct that midfield, then we can actually catch up with the likes of Manchester United, because it's all about how do we catch up. The way we catch up is rectifying the midfield errors. You get me? Rectify the midfield errors, and Arsenal will be back on board. So, guys, that has been the first show of the day. Remember to catch me at exactly 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Should it be 4 or 5? Let's do it at 5. Let's do it at 5 p.m. Catch me daily, 4 p.m. live, 8 p.m. live. We do it that way. So let us, today, catch me live at 5 p.m. Let us do it at 5 p.m. because I've just streamed, and this is 1. So catch me at 5 p.m. I love you. I'll speak to you very soon when I come back with more transfer news and the match preview of Everton, everything around the Premier League. As always, come on you, Gunners.